Hey there, wonderful world of YouTube. On today's video, we're going to talk about Michael Keaton's Batman being kind of revealed. Alright, so you might have noticed today, this morning, whenever you're watching this recently on Instagram, Flash director Andy Muschietti, I hope I pronounced that name right, revealed the first look at Michael Keaton's Batman. And by first look, I mean a very close-up image of the chest plate logo from the '89 Batman movie. Or at least it kind of looks like that. There are some differences here and there, but there's two big things that I want to talk about right now. One, even though it has been confirmed that Keaton was going to be in this movie, this confirms that Keaton's going to be in this movie, if that makes sense. I've been of the mind that I don't really know if this movie's going to happen or not, but it seems more and more like it's real. And we now have our first glimpse of like what Andy wants to do with Keaton, which is to give him the original suit and put him in this movie as the definitive Batman. The fact that that's the first image we get, that's the first thing we see, and that's what he puts out on Front Street, tells me that Keaton's a very pivotal role in this movie. With that, there's another thing that's been floating around that I want to talk about, and I also want to kind of dispel. If you look at the image, which I'm sure if I've done good editing, you've seen it at least once by now, there's a blood stain on the symbol, or at least a blood drip on the symbol. So that's driving people to, ooh, Watchmen, ooh, Doomsday Clock. First of all, I mean, if you read Doomsday Clock, why would you want them to do that? But that aside, I think we're really stretching things here. This Flash movie is based on Jeff Johns' Flashpoint comic series that he did. For anyone who didn't read that, Flashpoint was a series in which Flash went back in time, saved his mother, and ruined all of history. So while he has his mother and he gets a life with his mother, everything else around him is wrong. So Bruce Wayne never becomes Batman, Thomas Wayne becomes Batman, Aquaman becomes basically a dictator in the sea, Wonder Woman becomes a dictator on land. There's all these things that happen. And if you've never read it and you like comics, it's a fun story. I think the main series is good, but some of the ancillary series, like the Batman one, are really good. Go check those out. That said, I really think they're going to stick with that. I think we're going to get that. Keaton is going to be the linchpin for both ends of this movie, where we see him in the beginning, we see him at the end. And maybe not so much in the middle of it, where there is going to be that moment where Flash goes back in time, does something, whether it's save his mother or whatever, and it destroys all of history. It comes back, and a new history is created that's kind of similar to the one he knows. So once again, people who aren't DC or aren't comics fans, when that happened, that created New 52, which was very similar to the DC universe we know, but there are major differences. Whether you like them or not is not important here, but there are some differences that were later changed because that's how comics work. I really think that that's going to be the thing where we're going to get him beginning and end, and that's going to be kind of the linchpin to bring Flash back to quote-unquote reality. To say that this is a hint that like Dr. Manhattan's going to show up, or we're going to get Watchmen characters in here, I just think it's a stretch. I think it's a huge stretch, and I think it's a mistake, too. We don't need Manhattan in the story. We don't need the Watchmen in the story. I wouldn't mind if we hinted towards Watchmen somewhere, but to make them a pivotal role in the plot of the story, I think is a mistake. And I don't think we're going to get it. So I would not, if I were you, get your hopes up on that. But what I think that bloodstain really is is probably an image from one of the scenes. I mean, Batman's gonna be Batman. He's gonna be punching fools and doing his thing, but he's probably beaten up at some point, and Flash has to save him, and that's probably how we're gonna get introduced to Keaton, reintroduced to Keaton. But yeah, so everybody go check out those images. Like I said, I've done them a few times, but you can check them out on Instagram and follow Andy there. And I'm sure he'll have more for us in the near future to talk about. So thank you all so much for watching. See you here soon.